you ever finish a day wondering why you feel drained after a 15-minute conversation or suddenly buoyant after a tiny compliment from a coworker? Imagine emotions as money in an account that most of us never learn to balance. In this video, you'll discover the invisible economy that runs your inner life, the pattern of small emotional deposits and withdrawals that, over days and weeks, determine whether you feel resilient, anxious, resentful, or energized. This is not about grand events or dramatic trauma. It's about the tiny exchanges that quietly compound into your daily mood and long-term mental balance. You will learn what those microtransactions look like, why your brain treats them like real currency, and a practical toolkit to manage your emotional budget starting today. Most people search for big fixes, but it's the small, repeated exchanges that win or ruin your emotional year. That problem, feeling overwhelmed by seemingly random mood swings, is exactly what this video will help you solve. First, define the idea: emotional currency. Think of your nervous system as an account that stores a running balance of felt safety, connection, competence, and calm. Each interaction with others, each self-commentary, each habit either deposits, adds, or withdraws, subtracts. Deposits are tiny acts like a genuine thank you, a 5-second eye contact that says I see you, a moment of successful focus, or a short ritual that grounds you. Withdrawals are micro-criticisms, interrupted sleep, passive scrolling, or unresolved small conflicts that nibble away at your reserves. Why does your brain treat these micro-moments like money? Because of how learning and prediction work in the brain. Your nervous system is a prediction machine. It learns which cues reliably increase safety and reward, and it updates its expectations in small steps. Repeated small rewards strengthen neural patterns, just as repeated stressors prime defensive responses. Social baseline theory suggests humans evolved to conserve energy through social contact. Even tiny signs of social support lower physiological costs. On the flip side, tiny rejections or attentional neglect increase metabolic and psychological load. The bank metaphor helps. A single kind exchange may add a cent to your balance, but repeated kind exchanges compound into a stable sense of well-being. One sneer or one night of poor sleep can cause an outsized withdrawal because the system is calibrated to attend to threat. Understanding that compounding dynamics exist gives you leverage. Small, consistent deposits beat occasional big interventions. Now, a quick map of common emotional transactions so you can spot them. Micro deposits, short specific praise, being asked how you really are and then listened to, finishing a task and marking it. Short physical rituals, a cup of tea, 3 deep breaths, clarifying a boundary with calm language. Micro withdrawals, internal replay of past embarrassments, stonewalling in a relationship, passive scrolling for distraction, small unspoken resentments, skipping restorative sleep. Neutral or ambiguous transactions are interactions that could go either way depending on framing. For example, a rushed apology that lacks sincerity may cost more than it saves. The next question is practical. How do you take control of this economy? Here is a toolkit you can use this week. 1. Keep an emotional ledger for 7 days. For 1 week, note 3 times a day 1 deposit and 1 withdrawal you experienced. Use a single sentence each. Deposit: colleague said thanks after my idea. Withdrawal: scrolled social feed for 30 minutes and felt flat. This trains awareness and reveals patterns you otherwise miss. 2. Implement the 60/30ths rule. Each time you notice a withdrawal, aim to counterbalance it within 60 minutes with a 30-second deposit. The deposit can be as small as a self-validation sentence. That was hard and you handled it. A brief walk outside, or a quick honest check-in with someone who supports you. The point is speed and consistency rather than scale. 3. Learn to script micro-responses that protect your balance. When a triggering comment arrives, instead of reacting immediately, use a short script. Pause, breathe, name the feeling internally. That's irritation. Then choose a response. Scripts reduce impulsive withdrawals. 4. Design intentional micro-deposits into your day. 3 tiny rituals: morning 60-second gratitude, midday 90-second focus ritual before a task, evening 2-minute unwind where you note 1 small win. These act like automatic deposits, scheduled income for your emotional account. 5. Do a social audit. List 3 relationships that regularly drain you and 3 that regularly nourish you. For each draining relationship, decide on 1 boundary or microscript to try for a week. For nourishing ones, schedule 1 micro-deposit exchange, a message, a short gratitude note, or a coffee. Social relationships are the primary inflows and outflows. Managing them is financial planning for the heart. 6. Reframe small as powerful. Our cultural bias pushes us to celebrity gestures and grand therapy sessions, but because of compounding, small consistent actions often outperform sporadic big ones. Science from habit formation and neural plasticity shows repetition is how lasting change happens. Now, let's translate those steps into in-moment tactics you can use right away. If you wake up and feel low, do a micro deposit. Stand at the window for 60 seconds and name one thing that needs doing today you can finish in under 10 minutes. Completing it pays immediate interest, a tiny dopamine deposit. If someone criticizes you and you feel the urge to shrink, apply a microscript. Inwardly label the emotion, hurt. Offer yourself a validating line, "It's okay to feel this," and ask for a clarifying question from the other person rather than an immediate defense. "Can you say more about what you meant?" That turns an otherwise draining social exchange into an opportunity to resolve ambiguity or, if unresolved, to preserve boundaries. Another practical idea: create a micro-reserve habit for days you know will be hard. Before a meeting or visit that typically drains you, do a 1-minute breathing and posture reset. Tell yourself a supportive truth: "I can be curious, not defensive." And carry a small physical anchor, a ring, a coin, you can touch to remind your nervous system of safety. Over time, this anchor becomes associated with calm deposits. A crucial psychological tool is reappraisal and labeling. Research shows that putting a name on emotions reduces their intensity and biological cost. When you notice a withdrawal, don't multiply it by rumination. Label the feeling. Describe it in plain terms: annoyed, lonely, small. And then ask, what does this need? Often the need is small. A glass of water, 1 sentence of connection, 5 minutes of focused work. This shifts you from being captively reactive to being an active manager of your balance. It's also important to cut losses. Some withdrawals are chronic and non-repairable in certain relationships. The emotional economy framework makes it easier to see where to stop investing. If a relationship systematically withdraws and never deposits, it's a negative ROI. That doesn't always mean ending the relationship, but it does mean reducing exposure and reallocating your time to higher yield social capital. Let me give you a real-world example. Imagine Anna, who after a long day at work returns home and replays an awkward interaction with a neighbor. That replay is a multiple withdrawal event. It keeps the stress active and drains sleep. By tracking the ledger, Anna realizes that a 90-second gratitude ritual and a short success list before bed reverses the pattern within days. This is the magic. Small interventions compound. Some viewers will ask, isn't this manipulative or transactional? The answer is no if your goal is healthier relationships and clearer boundaries. Thinking in terms of currency is simply a clarity tool to help you allocate your attention and care where it actually grows both you and your relationships. Another common worry: what about deep trauma or major mental health issues? This framework is not a substitute for therapy in those cases, but it is complementary. Many therapeutic approaches already use micro-exposures, behavior activation, and scheduling of small wins. The emotional currency model helps you apply those clinical ideas in everyday life without needing a session each time. A quick checklist for the week to make this practical. Day 1, start an emotional ledger and identify your top 3 micro withdrawals. Day 2, add 3 micro deposit rituals to your calendar. Day 3, script 2 micro responses for draining conversations. Day 4, practice labeling emotions in the moment for 5 interactions. Day 5, do a social audit and adjust 1 relationship boundary. Day 6, test the 60/30th rule once. Day 7, review the ledger and celebrate small wins. Before we close, one last crucial habit: practice tiny generosity. Giving deposits is the fastest way to grow your balance because human systems reciprocate. Small acts of kindness often elicit returns you didn't expect. This is not about investment for reward. It's about cultivating a surrounding ecosystem that supports you. To recap, emotions compound like money. Small, consistent deposits create resilience. Small, repeated withdrawals deplete it. Awareness is the first currency you need, the ledger. And fast, habitual micro-practices are the saving plan. Start with 1 tiny deposit today and notice the difference over a week. If this idea unlocked something for you, press like, share this with one person you care about, and subscribe to Mind Unlocked for more practical toolkits that turn scientific insight into everyday habits. Your subscription helps us keep producing clear, compassionate guides for better thinking and living.